The new chief executive at Fairfax, Greg Hywood, has hit the ground running with a $165 million interim profit, up 15% on last year. He's also appointed a new head for metropolitan media, reflecting the company's focus on the digital space, a crucial area of growth. Mr. Hywood is the first journalist to run Fairfax in 2 decades, and he's got plenty of work ahead of him. I spoke with him earlier today. Greg Hywood, welcome to Lateline Business.
Thanks, Tikki.
Well, it's been said that you're taking on Australia's toughest media job, but I know the priority for you in the last few days has been your people in Christchurch and the team still publishing.
Yeah, I know. Look, the team, Andrew Boyle, the general manager, and Andrew Holden, the editor, have just done a phenomenal job. The distress amongst the team is enormous. We have lost a valued member of the Fairfax family, a young lady who was trapped in the building and died there. We've had other injuries there, some severe, yet they brought that newspaper out and served the people of Christchurch. So they're a great group of people, and we're very proud of them, and we value them very much indeed.
Indeed. Well, let me move to business, and pretty robust result, really. You've appointed Jack Matthews as CEO of the Metro businesses with strengths in digital. But your 2 flagship newspapers, I mean, the numbers have been touted around presently, account for less than, a fifth of your total earnings. Do you expect that to go lower?
Oh, well, I mean, Jack's got the job to grow it, and, we expect those print publications to be robust earners into the future. But you're right. I mean, people tend to sort of look at Fairfax from the outside as being the 2 big mastheads, the Sydney Morning Herald and the Age. And it's true, a decade ago they were 75% of the earnings. They're less than 20% now. But they're still great publications, and the journalism that they produce is at the core of what we do. And we believe that focus on those publications and focus on the journalism and focus on the market that they serve will mean that they'll be around for a long time yet.
Well, let's go to the art of cost-cutting. You say the core strategy Brian McCarthy put in place will pretty much stay. Now, look, I haven't seen a Herald byline on the New Zealand earthquake. I presume you didn't send a reporter on behalf of the Herald. As a journalist yourself, has Fairfax now started cutting into the flesh?
No, I don't believe so at all. I mean, we have wonderful journalists. They do a great job. We're committed to delivering news and context to people. Look at our newspapers today. They were absolutely fabulous. So I don't think there's any basis to make that sort of claim.
Printing, of course, is a high-cost part of the business, particularly the Metro presses. Is it true that you will look at smaller presses or even team up with your competitor News?
Look, we know, Tikki, that the days of those enormously thick Sydney Morning Herald and Ages is over. Print classifieds is a thing of the past to the degree that they provided 400-page newspapers. And so what we now need is printing facilities that deal with the new reality of what newspapers are. And we'll be looking internally about how we do that best, and if there's some opportunities across the industry to have some productive discussions around that, we'll pursue those.
The Financial Review Group, the Fin itself, you call it the preeminent business journal. It certainly was when you were running it, but cash flow down again nearly 20%, circulation down, number of pages, even quality over the months. It is a shadow of its former self.
Look, I was lucky enough not to have to preside over it during the global financial crisis. And what clearly occurred, Tikki, is that the GFC meant that there was a big reduction in financial market jobs, and clearly that's a core market. But probably even more important, retail investors are tending to sit on their hands. They're not as active in the market as they've been, not nearly as active in the market. And those people, if they're not investing, are not looking for investment information and the context around business, and so clearly there's those structural issues. But of course we know that will come back.
You've seen some growth at AFR Online from a pretty low base, though. Having a paywall around the AFR website has reduced consumer exposure to the Fin, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, the view is that this is an interesting issue about the height of paywalls, whether we should operate under a freemium model or a paywall model, and the decision is always around the degree to which people will pay for information. And we've seen good growth of the AFR.com and continuing growth, and the decision is to charge for that content. For other publications, we might take a different view, and we are taking a different view. It's really a horse for a course, but you always review these situations. Nothing's ever forever. We know that in the digital age. So let's look at and see how we go.
Are we to expect management clean out at the Financial Review and the group?
Oh, look, Tiki, I would never. There's two things I never comment on. I never comment upon personalities, and I never comment upon potential acquisitions.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because, of course, there is a lot of speculation about the Business Spectator. That would be a nice fit, and indeed the Weekly Review, which is taking a lot of market share from you.
Well, it's a competitive real estate situation in Melbourne, and our people in our suburban publications and at The Age are working together to work and become more competitive.
Last one, the Register has been a notorious stomping ground for media moguls. Now, I know Gina Reinhardt is now on the Register. Would it be a surprise to see Kerry Stokes pop up, and could that impact on how you run the business? Oh,
that's not an issue for me, Tiki, not at all. I mean, we're focused in my management team on running the business, and we've got plenty to do, rather than speculate about who might or might not be on the share register.
Greg Hywood, I wish you a lot of luck in the hot seat. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Dickie.